Welcome to Restaurant Catering Smarts, your go-to podcast for restaurateurs looking to better operate and grow their catering profit centers. With every episode, you can count on expert advice, innovative strategies, and tasty tips straight from industry leaders. Our purpose is to help your business thrive. So, let's dig in to another juicy episode.
Hello again. I'm Michael Attias, your host of Restaurant Catering Smarts, and today's guest is Terry Matthews, co-founder of CaterLinked, with a wealth of experience in restaurant and catering operations. Terry has dedicated his career to helping operators build stronger, more profitable catering programs through CaterLinked. He connects restaurants with vetted service providers, resources, and solutions designed to simplify operations and drive growth. Terry brings a deep understanding of the challenges caterers face, along with practical strategies to overcome them, and we're excited to have him on the show today. But before we get started, let's take a minute to recognize our sponsor, CaterZen Catering Software. They help restaurants turn their catering chaos into calm. Discover why restaurants trust CaterZen to save them time and increase sales. Go to caterzen.com and sign up for a walkthrough of the software. Now let's dive into this episode of Restaurant Catering Smarts. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, thank you, Mike. You know what? I love your intro music. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah,
I like to say I produced it, but I have nothing to do with it.
No, I'm super excited to be on the show. I've watched many episodes, seen the ones posted on CaterLinked, and yeah, very very excited to join you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we've known each other for a little while, so it is nice to get you on here. But before I get started with questions and talking catering and whatnot, I like an icebreaker question to get started. So give me a number between 1 and 300.
Okay, so it's got to be 16, which is my number, my shirt number for my soccer team. So sweet 16.
Okay, if you could speak one language other than your native language, what would it be and why?
Oh, 100%. It would be French. And then I would understand my girlfriend properly.
Votre copain parle français?
Oui, elle parle français très bon.
C'est pas mal. Je parle français. Je suis né à Paris. Je comprends très bien, mais je parle comme ci, comme ça. Do you understand what I said?
What?
Let me tell you, if your girlfriend says something under her breath and you need to know, just send me the transcript and I'll translate for you. I was born in Paris.
That's fantastic. I did not realize you spoke French. That's
redneck
good.
French.
Redneck French, yeah.
Yeah, I sound like a redneck, but I understand and I can crack jokes with Uber drivers, so I'm accomplished enough.
That's impressive. Love that.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get my French citizenship back. My parents took it away from me when I was 10.
No way.
Yeah, we moved over when I was 2.5, and then we became naturalized citizens. So, when you're 10, you don't have any, they didn't keep the French citizenship and whatever. And I'm like, in today's day and age, it doesn't hurt to have 2, 3, 4 passports. You never know when you got to bogey out and have a place to go.
Could be useful. Yeah, I've got two citizenships. So one with the UK and one with Canada, which is where I'm living right now.
What's crazy, people don't know this. My birth name is Mikael, Mickael, and the A or the E has the 2 dots over it. But when they came over, all my papers are Michael, right? Because Michael's the English equivalent. So if I do get French citizenship, I'll really have 2 identities like Jason Bourne. He's got all these passports with different names. They won't know that I'm the same person.
Love it.
So we're going down a rabbit hole, but let's get back into this. So, I guess at one point I didn't really know you when you were with Monkey. I wouldn't say we were competitors. You took one of my biggest clients.
Fiercely competitive. Surely.
No, I mean, y'all really dominated the enterprise space. And, I think it all started when you took, and fairly, and there was nothing unfair about it, you took most Southwest Grill because you were bigger, more capitalized organization, and y'all really built a following in the enterprise space.
Right.
When did you get, let's talk about your background. Like, how did you get into restaurant tech? Were you in the restaurant world before, the catering world?
My background, I've been in construction accounting and with software. So I've always been in the software world, tech world, but did did that, went into manufacturing software for a bit. But then when I came over to Canada, I met up with Mo Ascari, and that was in the gaming industry. So we worked on an integration together back in 2004. So I've known Mo for like many years, and that was to integrate Paradise Poker with the platforms that we were putting together. So that's how I got to know Mo. And then shortly-ish after that, I met up with Earl at Monkey Media Software in 2010, where Mo was there as well. So we teamed up again at Monkey Media Software. So that's where I joined. That's where the Monkey experience started.
And so I guess you were always a product manager?
Actually, no. I've bounced around between being a product manager, a project manager, and a developer, software developer. So I was in there with the code. I
So
love
you
coding.
actually code?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
you were
that was my background. So I bounced between coding and project management, and I did that quite a bit. Joined Monkey Media as a project manager, and then I missed the coding. So yeah, you look back on.
We're always looking
even
for
today,
good coders. Come on over.
Yeah, exactly. But
I'll keep you busy.
Today, you look at Ruby Tuesday's catering site. I actually put that together with
Did you really?
Rado Enchef, the developer there. So yeah, we put that together. But I found my happy space in product management, because that was kind of working with developers, working with clients, talking about the software and what was needed, and I love that space. Fantastic.
So let's talk about this, because to be a product manager or a software, if you're not, the path, like Earl and I took, the founder of, most people know who he is, but if you don't, Earl Dardick was the founder of Monkey Media, and he had a deli, like I had a restaurant, and he created a platform based on what he needed. So really, some of the best software companies are birthed from people in the industry that know it intimately and know the pain points and know how to design it. If you're a developer and somebody comes to you and go, "Oh, we need this," you take it at face value because you don't know. You probably have to ask a lot of questions. Now, is this like something that's universally applicable, or is this just this one person has something that they need and no one else is going to need it? I'm building it for nothing. And I think that's the value somebody in the industry has, is you could quickly spot something, go, "Oh my God, why didn't I think of that? We need this yesterday." Or, "Hey, that's great. You want it, but like you have a very fringe case that I can't monetize, this investment." How did you go about learning the catering industry? Because obviously now with CaterLinked, and we'll talk about CaterLinked and how that came about. How did you go about becoming sort of a catering nerd? Because obviously there's far more to developing software than knowing how to code. You need to understand workflows and why something is needed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had huge benefit in being with Earl Dardick. I learned so much, and I'm still learning from Earl. It's amazing when you actually go into restaurants. Actually, there you witness it firsthand. It changes your perspective. It's a lot of people, you see them sat on the other side of a video conference call, and they talk to people, but actually being there in person, that's a completely different experience. And learning the business, it's all about the relationships that you have with people, and just following their journey, following the day in the life of certain people, the stakeholders. It's been wonderful. But I've had the benefit of learning from Earl, Tracy Avolio as well. She used to train us now with New Catering Connections.
Yeah.
Like the education that I was given at Monkey through these people that have been involved in the industry has been phenomenal. But yeah, it's being out there, being involved in things, and looking at the problems people face. That's really where my first-hand learning came from. Yeah.
And how much time would you say you spend in the field? Like if you had to say you spend 10 days, a day a month going out and visiting with clients, what would you say?
never enough is the honest answer. I
Oh,
loved
that's a
I
good
loved
answer.
being out there. It was amazing. Even spending time with call centers. That was incredible. I've been to 3 or 4 call centers. Even the first party call centers, third party call centers. It's incredible to actually see the calls coming through, the speed and the accuracy that those operators take orders, and the suggestions that they come up, the upsells. It's fantastic, and it's incredible. It's amazing when you actually develop software and you think it's like perfect. This is the solution, but you go out, and I have so many notes that I take from those interactions with people, because you spot these little tiny things that
Oh
would
yeah.
would improve their lives, and I love that. I absolutely love
Yeah,
that.
I definitely geek out on problem solving, but the advantage that you bring is a fresh set of eyes, right? Because you're not tainted. Like, if you had a deli or a barbecue restaurant, Italian restaurant, and you cater for 20 years, you're very myopic, and it's based on your
Sure.
specific, problems that you've dealt with. And so
Uh,
you're going to look at through those eyes. Well, you have a fresh set of eyes, right? You're like a newborn, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen this before.
yeah.
I understand, but let me bring something from the gaming industry or just from the software, the UX, or something else as a different
Right.
perspective, and that adds there's a value to bringing that, and that's
Yeah, definitely. And
that's
then you bring the curiosity as well. I love finding out about what people do and why they do it, and that curiosity has really seen me through. It
yeah.
really helps.
I think I've always been curious ever since I was a kid, and even as an adult. Like, I like to
Right.
interview people. Like, how'd you get into what are you doing, and what's it
Uh,
like, and how do you get customers? It's like I have this
uh,
insatiable appetite. Like, I hated school because school is regurgitation. You're not really
right.
learning, you're memorizing or regurgitating. Learning is
Yeah.
critical thinking, it's problem solving. It's not rote memorization, because really anything you need to memorize you can pick up in a book. You can go online, ask
Right.
ChatGPT. I mean,
Oh,
a monkey
these
can
days,
rote
especially.
memorize,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
it's more, how do you think critically? How do you solve problems? How
Yeah.
do you learn how to deal with people? How do you get
Yeah.
the best out of people? So those are the things that pump me up. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't have enough developers to get everything I want it done as quickly as I want it done. Right?
That's always the
That's
way,
always a
right? It's
challenge,
always the
right?
way. It's always a balancing act. Yeah, there's so many things that I wanted to do in the past, so many good features and whatever. There's so many factors that you have to factor in including especially limited resources. That's
Yeah,
the
I
biggest
I
thing.
tell everyone my main job is, like, I don't know if you remember, like, on the Ed Sullivan Show, they had the Chinese acrobat spinning the plates.
Mm-mm.
You remember
Yes,
that? And it's
I've
like
seen
one
that.
starts to slow down, and you got to go over here. I'm just a plate spinner. I got to figure out where to put the
Yes,
attention on which plate and not have any of them break. So that's my job, is to herd cats and spin plates. That should be my title: cat herder, plate spinner.
Awesome.
So at Monkey you work with all sorts of brands, right?
Mhm.
What did you see? And what I'm starting to learn as we get into the enterprise space, there are different levels of players, right?
Right.
So a Moe's Southwest Grill, they require their franchisees to have catering salespeople in their territories. They push catering. It's part of their ecosystem. It's a big part of their sales. And they're
Yeah.
not just taking easy cater orders and saying, oh, we're in the catering business. They're hustling. They're doing full service events, drop off
Yeah.
events. And then you've got other brands that, frankly, they say they need catering software. All they really need is an online ordering portal and maybe a light CRM. They're not doing anything heavy duty. What separates, not to be sexist, the men from the boys, right, in that arena, and what you saw?
Yeah. You know what? For Moe's Southwest Grill, specifically, it blew me away because we went to their annual conference. So I did a few of their annual conferences, fantastic events. But it's, I loved, presenting to the team. It's great watching the presentations. That was all well and good. But the action actually happened during the breaks, and that's what blew my mind. It was the catering sales managers, and they literally had their phones out, and they were working on the orders, making changes. They were calling up. They were following up on things. They were constantly working those relationships that they had, and that's what blew me away with them. And you're so right. It's people think about, it's software that they need. Software is going to solve my problems, and it's really, it's not. Software is going to help you for sure. It's going to facilitate a catering program, but it's not. It really isn't going to substitute for a lack of process, a lack of strategy, and that's the key. And if you've got clear direction and you know what processes actually work, then the software is secondary to that. I shouldn't be saying this to Kate's own man.
No, but it's true. It's true, because I did $1 million a year out of a 104-seat restaurant. And what
Right.
I use, we use 2-part paper, and
Yeah.
we use Excel spreadsheets, and I mean, a little red book. I mean, it was
Mhm.
very rudimentary in what we did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't need it. It just makes what you do more efficient, more
Yep. Yep.
professional, and you can get
Absolutely.
more done and save time, but it's not mandatory. I mean, it's definitely, in today's day and age, you want to take advantage of technology, but not for technology's sake, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
going back to the question, like, what separates the people who are players versus the people who say, "Oh, we cater," and they have, nice brochures, but they're more, they don't really put in the resources. What are you seeing out there? What, you
Uh,
know,
Yeah, I think if you're truly going to go after it, you see people with like 5, 6, 7% of their business comes through catering, but you deal with the big players, and they're like knocking out 20, 30% of their business is
right.
catering, and it's just amazing the effort and the energy that they put into to catering. It's really, from the very top, you have to have that buy-in. You have to have that commitment towards catering, and you see the energy work its way through the team. It's the outreach, the kind of the cookie drops, the kind of going after people, making the
Right.
relationships in the local businesses. Whereas the people that don't really get it, they're not doing that. They put the catering sign up and expect orders to just flow in, and
Yeah.
and you're not going to get that.
And what shocks me is, like, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, I'll admittedly, right? And you've got people who are running really successful chains, and
Mhm.
it's like, you'll spend 25,000 on an ice maker, but you won't hire a catering sales rep.
Yeah,
And the amount of money that you can bring to the bottom line, you can double the profits of an operation, plus
right.
the free marketing. There's a big disconnect for me. And maybe it's just a heavy lift that people aren't used to.
Mhm.
I think it's easier. I remember people would say, "Oh, I was a waiter. I have sales background." Well, no, you're an order taker. A salesperson knows how to knock on doors and form
Yeah,
relationships, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to make happen, right? But
right.
if you figure it out, it's amazing, because you can amp sales.
True.
The franchises that I've worked with over the years, I've said, look, I'm not in franchise sales, but if I were
Hmm.
king for the day, so to speak, why aren't you recruiting people that have been in pharma sales, Fortune 500 sales, that are outplaced and they're looking to replace that job with a business?
Yeah,
You can hire a sandwich maker. You can hire a shift manager. You can't hire a guy that could go out in the community and generate $250,000, $500,000 in catering sales. And now all
right.
of a sudden you have these super unit economics because someone's
Mhm.
out there selling. You can't tell me, like, oh, I've got this cashier and she's really friendly and I'm going to pay her $15 an hour to go knock on doors and generate catering and deliver catering
Sure.
orders. Like, that's like, you're not going to get anywhere, right? I mean, you're not going to get anywhere with that.
Yeah, there are some incredible people out there that have such incredible skills that can form the relationships, which is so essential for catering. And it's not just getting your foot in the door and kind of getting that first order. It's the follow up. It's the
Oh
dealing with
yeah.
the issues. It's the ensuring that you get on that catering rotation, because people aren't going to order the same thing every day of the week. You want to have one order every 2 weeks. That would be fantastic. Regular business is
Oh
fantastic.
yeah. And it's really about, I know that if I call you, Terry, to take care of me, you're taking care of me, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And the buck stops with you. If you have to get
Yeah.
in your car, if you have to comp the order, I know that you're not going to embarrass me, and that's what I'm buying, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so, when you look at some of the marketplaces, I understand why the marketplaces exist, right? I want the loyalty points for Amazon gift cards. My company requires that my expense accounting runs through there, and we've got a national deal, and we're going to save 5%. But
Right.
at the end of the day, I think, truth be told, people would rather be dealing with somebody in their backyard that they can pick up the phone and call at 7:30 in the morning and go, "Hey, my boss just laid this on me. I need box lunches for 20. Can you hook me up?" And you
Absolutely.
might say, "Look, I can't do box lunches, but I can get you a sandwich platter." And that they've got your back. You're not getting that with an 800 number. You're not getting that with an app, with DoorDash or Uber, so there's a
Definitely.
big advantage if you can build those relationships in the community. And some of my best relationships, like, running a restaurant's okay, but the catering, like going out and working a factory, 1,000 people, 3 shifts, an hour and a half away, man, and those people are so happy to see you. And then you're out with your crew. It's like a field trip. So,
Hmm.
I take them out to eat at a
Field trip.
restaurant
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
afterwards. And we're staying at a Motel 6, probably a Motel 5.5, where the hell we are. And eating at Shoney's for breakfast. And, these guys are getting I mean, it's like a field
Yeah.
trip, when you get to go to do these events. So I miss that part of it. I don't know if you know this. I had a bartending service in college.
No way. I did not know that.
Yeah. So I had gone to some bar mitzvahs and weddings and noticed that all the bartenders were the same. They had these velvet bow ties and these ruffly shirts, which were outdated. And they had a chip coffee cup for scooping ice. And they stirred every drink with the same stainless steel spoon. And I worked at a
That's
real bar, and
wonderful.
I was like, well, if I got a nice, James Bond tuck shirt and bow tie and cummerbund, and
Mm.
we had swizzle sticks and cocktail stirs and a scoop and all this. We called it gentlemen bartenders, and it really took off. And it was a fun little business to have in college.
Wonderful.
It was a very fun. So I guess I was in the business a long time ago, and then I worked at a restaurant that the manager, he had experience doing backstage concert catering. So, like Aerosmith comes to town and they need all the the green room
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a big, huge part of their business, is having that contract at the Mid-South Coliseum. Oh my God. I think tickets were like probably $20 to go see the Rolling Stones. I'm dating myself. Now you can't even buy a t-shirt for $20.
That's funny.
But it was a big thing. So,
That's awesome.
anything else you want to add about restaurants and catering, and, maybe some things you see the successful versus the non-successful, and then we can transition over to CaterLinked.
Yeah, I definitely I mentioned it before. The people that take training seriously, the organizations that train their staff up. I think we've seen that certainly through the Catering Institute, the work that we did with the Catering Institute while I was at Monkey. That supported the software so well. And seeing people learn from the processes, the tried and trusted processes that have been put together, and the strategies that we've seen work with other organizations. And it's out there. The the training is there available, but I don't see people really pushing their staff to work on that. So that's actually going to be something that we're really focused on for the next 12 months. We're going to be really pushing that with our academy that we're kicking off with CaterLinked. So yeah, that's to come. That's the big news that I probably shouldn't share. And it's our launch is
well,
coming.
are you gonna announce it in Austin?
Yes, that's
Well,
the thing.
this won't hit before
This won't
Austin,
end
so I
until
think
then. Okay, we're safe.
so. I'm not gonna leak it on social media. Coming soon.
Fantastic.
So let's talk about CaterLinked, right? So Monkey sold. Did you stay on at Monkey
Yeah,
when
I
EasyCater
was
bought off?
there. Yeah, the EasyCater acquisition happened, and I was there for about 8 months during that period, which was an interesting time because, it felt like EasyCater were just coming in to kind of close Monkey down. That was the feeling that I got. Certainly on the software development side, it kind of slowed down to a crawl, and then the 8 month point organization shifts happened, and I was let go as part of that, and the development of the Monkey platform stopped at that point. Yeah, that was the big thing. So yes, I was there during that EasyCater period. So it was an interesting time for sure.
Yeah. I don't know that I was told this directly, but I sort of surmise. I felt that EasyCater bought Monkey more as a defensive posture to keep somebody from like an Uber Eats or DoorDash buying it and then maybe having a leg up in the marketplace, having access to those enterprise accounts and, controlling the tech. Maybe so, but I
Mm-hmm.
guess it all worked out. So how did CaterLink come about? Because, I'm friends with Earl. I know he doesn't need, I know
Oh,
he can afford to eat tonight and ski.
absolutely.
So, he's covered. How did this come about? And sort of what's the vision? Like, where do you want to take it? What do you want to do with it?
Yeah. So
Explain it to
after
everyone.
after I left Monkey, I did a stint at Onesys for a while, and COVID hit. Then after that, I was with them for three years. I then teamed up with Earl at Lunchbox. So we did a short stint there, trying to bring catering to them. After that, we teamed up again, and this time we moved out of the software world, and we focused on putting together the restaurant catering workshop with Network Media, the fast casual guys. So that was our big push last year, and that happened in October of last year. And what we saw was fantastic. We had the actual workshop itself. Earl gave the keynote speech. Great energy from that.
It was
And
an incredible. Y'all put on a great event. I enjoyed speaking and being part of that and networking with all these people. A lot of energy, a lot of good energy at that.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
looking forward to going back.
Yeah. So yeah, that event, we had like 100,000 restaurant locations represented in the room. There was a lot of energy, but you remember what it was like. It was like people that were brand new to the game, some people that were it's steeped in knowledge. They've been doing catering for many, many years. And the subject matter that we had so much to go through, and we just skimmed the surface really during that session. So that was the feedback that we got from that was exactly that. There's all sorts of different experiences in the room. There was one day was just not enough to go through it all. But the biggest bit of feedback that we got was from the people that couldn't attend. It was too expensive, or they couldn't afford. They couldn't get their companies to pay for hotel rooms, meals, travel, all of those things, and they would have loved to have been there. But their organization just wouldn't support it.
And that is shows so short-sighted. So, I tell people, do you know who Dan Kennedy is? Jay Abraham, those guys?
No.
So Jay Abraham's a very high-priced marketing consultant.
Right.
And in 1996, I was reading Success Magazine, and he had like a 20-page insert. He partnered
Right.
with the magazine. He was putting on a 3-day marketing workshop in LA. It was $5,000. Well, back in 1996, that's a shit ton of money plus
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
And, I won't tell you how I begged, borrowed, and steal to get into the room, but it got me down the path of direct marketing and using direct marketing to build catering sales and niche marketing and whatever.
Uh,
And as an impetus to that, I would spend probably more money in a year on seminars, consulting, coaching groups, whatever, than I did to get a 4-year degree in university. And it's like, all you need is one idea, right? You go to Austin, you pick up one idea on a niche you didn't think about, and now you bring in $100,000 in sales for your brand.
yeah.
How's it not worth that being? And it's residual. It's not like I made the one sale and it's done, right? It's
Hmm.
every
Hmm.
single year. If you figure something out, you can monetize that. It's
Exactly.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
short-sighted.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So,
But
so yeah.
they'll buy some jingle that sounds good and won't show any ROI. Where catering, you can show an ROI.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But yeah, going back to your question, where did CaterLink come from? It was exactly that conference.
yeah.
Yeah, the feeling that we got was it was just amazing. The energy in the room, people just interacting with other people, the need for that connection. That personal connection and seeing people and being able to talk with people and building relationships with people. It was fantastic and everyone learning from everyone. So we decided, people couldn't afford it, so we were going to create that online, and that's really where CaterLink came from. So
And how's it going?
it's going fantastically. It's the energy that we have within the community is great. We've got just over 300 members now in the community. You look at the shows that we're putting together. We got Kelly Grogan in there. We've got Jennifer Saunders Haynes. We've got Mo Asghari. We've got Earl Dardick, obviously. We've got Erin Childs. The list is kind of almost endless. So these shows that we're putting together, so much information that's happening in there. And then Christina Clausen as well, bringing tech information as well as sales and marketing. So that's all these events that we're putting together, and that's on a monthly basis. And it's
Right.
I'm so
Oh, I
grateful
see. I
to
see. I mean,
these
we're a
people.
sponsor. We're a proud sponsor, and I see all
Absolutely.
the content that's going out there. Is there a charge to be part of CaterLinked?
For restaurant operators, it's absolutely free. So
So,
that's it. Free membership for restaurant operators.
so they need to go to caterlinked.com to join. So
Caterlink.com. Yeah, hit join.
this is what I'm going to tell you. Everybody watching is scrolling at least an hour a day on bullshit. They're on
Hmm.
Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, and you're going to get more sharpening your saw, learning how to sell more catering, whether you're an owner, you're a CEO, you're a salesperson, even if you're just an order taker. How can I make myself more valuable? Because the more valuable I am, the more I can make. You're crazy not to have your whole team participate in this.
Exactly. It's absolutely free of charge. One thing that we're setting up that we're super excited about right now is peer groups. So we're just kicking off a new sales peer group, and we've got we're looking for about 6 to 8 people for.
Are you going to
this.
charge for it?
No, this is a free service as
crazy.
well. Right now, there are certain peer groups that are going to be chargeable extra, but this one's going to be run by a community leader within our space, and it's basically salespeople getting together, talking about sales, the issues that they have, and connecting. And this is the heart of CaterLinked. That's really where people get together, and it's recreating that whole restaurant catering workshop experience all over again. So people come together on a bi-weekly basis and talk with their peers about what's going on in their lives, and it's fantastic. And the other thing that complements that is our brand new app. So we have an app. So there's messaging within the app, so you can connect with anyone in the community directly. You get notifications on your phone. You're there instantly through the app, and
That's awesome.
the real time conversations is just wonderful. It's wonderful to see.
So, I look at the catering workshop as sort of like the appetizer. Are you going to
Mhm.
put on an entree type conference? 3 days intense, more heavy duty boot camp versus, there's just not enough you can cover in a day and a half, right?
No, no,
Are
you're
y'all
right.
thinking about doing something more, more intense type of
Yeah,
thing?
definitely. Yeah, so we're talking with Deliver That right now about putting on regional workshops and pulling in driver teams, for example, and that's doing in-person sessions. I think that would be phenomenal. Connecting people like in real life. That's the best. So that's going to happen. For sure. So yeah, super excited about that.
That's awesome. That's really great. Do you have any success stories from CaterLink? I know it's very brand new in the grand scheme of life,
Mhm.
less than a year old. Any success stories that members have shared or you've heard?
Yeah, one of the things I was sharing this story the other day on LinkedIn. Someone mentioned that they'd just been let go from a company. Obviously, I won't mention any names, but I was saying, hey, come over to CaterLinked, take a look at what's happening in here. And there was a story in there which was Lance van Hemel. He actually he had the same experience, and he managed to get a new position through CaterLinked and connecting with people, and it was wonderful. And he reached out to the community, and immediately, people were jumping in with suggestions. We connected him with some recruitment people, and that were part of the community that specialized in the catering space, and we connected them together, and he has a
That's
new
awesome.
position. He's actually going to be leading our sales peer group, so
Oh,
he'll be able.
really?
Yeah, absolutely. So
That's
I'm
cool.
super
Well,
excited about that.
if you ever want me to do a webinar or jump on there and talk about stuff, I'm happy to.
Oh,
Uh,
that would be an honor to have you on. And yeah,
yeah, I
you
mean,
mentioned already that you support the community through sponsorship of with Cater Zen, which is we are super grateful for that. And without your help, we wouldn't be able to put these things together. So yeah,
but
fantastic,
what's,
grateful.
I mean, look, ultimately, it's symbiotic, right? Because if you don't have educated, successful caterers, they don't need catering software, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, it's a short, medium, and long term play to build an industry, right? You got some people who are accomplished, and then you want to bring everybody up and raise the standards and the education and the best practices because,
Yeah.
the more successful they are, the more technology they need and the more education they need, and it all works together, right? And so,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. Yeah,
and it's
and
wonderful.
it's
And
wonderful. The community that we're bringing together is it warms my heart. Some of the things, the experiences that are shared on that community. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Jerome Dees shared an experience, shared a letter that he received from one of his customers, and it was a child that had an experience in his restaurant, and it was just wonderful to read that and the interactions. And he's wonderful. He puts on Jerome puts on a show called Cater Caffeine every month with CaterLinks, and it's phenomenal. He's put together a playbook for sales reps, and it's just jam packed full of such incredible information that people can use. It's instantly there for them to use that day.
I mean,
It's
you're getting me
fantastic. So
fired up.
practical
I
information.
used to do a lot of speaking and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And, and that speaks to CaterLink because, I know Gabe
Yeah.
is super pumped up and it's like the energy. It's not like for y'all, I can tell it's a mission. Like, I know you're not getting rich off of this. And if it's a long play to monetize this,
Yeah,
it takes a
sure.
long time
Yeah.
to get the sponsors and get the community and build all this stuff up. But I can tell you like your heart's in it, right? It's not, you're not doing it because it's like, oh, I've got a job and this is paying the bills. Like,
No,
your
that's
heart's in that, and you can't
100%.
you
Yeah.
can't recreate that, right? There's a certain energy. What we say at Caters in is culture fit is so important to us. We need people drinking our Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
I don't put cyanide in mine, but I do have Kool-Aid. And so you want everybody excited about what the company's doing and, oh God, we're working on this and we're working on that. And there's such value in that for the whole community. Like, people really should be taking advantage of this because honestly, at free, I mean, you're stupid if you're not. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to be a
At the
professional,
very
you
least,
gotta, huh?
get in there, give it a try. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. So
Yeah, I mean, all
absolutely.
you need to do is learn one thing a year, and
100%.
it's worth the time, right? And
Yeah.
it all builds in. Okay, we're running out of time. Anything else you want to talk about? Cater, Link, being successful in catering.
Yeah, I guess obviously by the time this airs, we'll have had the restaurant catering workshop. So it was wonderful meeting everyone there.
Yeah, the time machine.
but definitely, we just want to see people join CaterLinked. You can sign up at caterlinked.com, download the app for instant connection. If you want to take a look at the events that we have, we publish everything on YouTube. So take a look at the CaterLinked channel on YouTube. Take a look at all the playlists on there as well for each of the shows, so you can take a look at those. And peer groups are coming up. And I mentioned the thing that we are launching at the Restaurant Catering Workshop, have launched now at the Restaurant Catering Workshop, is the CaterLinked Academy, and that is the next level of education in the catering space. So that is going to be phenomenal. So really excited about that.
Looking forward to hearing more about that. So I really appreciate you taking the time. Your energy is so infectious, like really is. You've got such good energy. I always walk away with a smile after talking to you. You just, I guess once upon a time I looked at you as an enemy because you were at Monkey Media, and it's like, not everybody on the enemy is a bad guy. You're just, you're what do they say? You're a good chap. Is that what they say in England?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you too.
Perfect.
Michael.
Look forward to seeing you. See you in a
Michael,
couple of weeks.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure, and as always, we are so grateful for your support.
No, of course. Thanks.
You've been listening to Restaurant Catering Smarts. For more insights and episodes, make sure to follow along, subscribe, and share at caterzen.com.